There you are. You're welcome back, and it's time for us to do the news review. Our stories are online this morning, the second day of the year, and quite a lot happening on myjoyonline.com. First story on our carousel today: anti-graft campaigner Daniel Batty passes on. A very sad day indeed for his family and, of course, for the anti-corruption fraternity. He was a corruption advisor for former President Mahama, and very sadly, he has passed. He will be remembered for so many things, including some of his very, very vociferous calls for the end of corruption. He also spoke quite famously in an interview with Manasseh during the Ford bribe saga. Right. Also on the carousel this morning, IGP vows to clamp down on troublemakers during December polls. This is a promise ahead of the elections that are upcoming. The IGP, Opong Buenu, says that there will be a major clampdown on all those who seek to disrupt the elections, and they will be made to face the full rigors of the law. Also, angry Aveno residents want deadly Ghana Water Company Limited dugout covered. Residents and commuters in and around Aveno, which is in Okaikwe South, are angry with the Ghana Water Company after its officials allegedly dug a pit and just left it uncovered. Right. Coup Party throws party for Lupita Nyong'o, Davido, and other returnees. Oh, lucky them. This happened before the end of 2019. The president hosted some of the personalities that were still in town at his Nima residence for a private party. It looks like a lot of fun was had. Very nice. 2019 audit to include assets, liabilities, declaration by public office holders. Now we are getting there. So the Auditor General says that now the audit for 2019 will include assets and liabilities declaration. So those who declared their assets last year, and liabilities obviously, and those who didn't, it'll all be featured in the audit. It's too late now for anybody to do anything about it. 2019 is gone, but we will now know those who declared and those who didn't. And you know, it's against the law not to declare your assets, right? Interesting. All right. And how Nigerians risk death consuming meat cooked with paracetamol. Hey. Using paracetamol is the fastest way to prepare meat in many households. Apparently, it saves gas, kerosene, and firewood. This is just bizarre. I don't really have anything to say here. They are cooking meat with paracetamol, for the love of God. But anyway, let's have a look at what the details are, because this is something else entirely. Let's see. Details coming up in a moment. Here we are. So for many households and restaurants, using paracetamol is the fastest way to prepare meat. It saves gas, kerosene, and firewood, and it costs much less. 0.78 cedis, or less than a cedi, for one sachet of 12 tablets, and each tablet can cause a pot full of meat to cook soft within a few minutes. Hey! All right, but of course what they don't know is that as much as they are quickening the amount of time it takes to cook, they are also quickening their days on earth. Hey! Anyway, you learn something new every day, but not everything you learn should be practiced, if you ask me. All right, well, that's the paracetamol story. Let's see what else there is on the carousel. Sam Kranchi Ankara declares red and blue as the colors for 2020. Hey, which party has those colors as well? Interesting. Sam Kranchi Ankara declaring the colors for 2020. They also feature prominently on the American flag. Maybe it's going to be a good year for America. Who knows? Red and blue. Okay, there you go. And apologize for 31st December revolution if you have a conscience. Akatapori says this to Rawlings. Akatapori, of course, played a very big role in the 31st December revolution, and he did indeed apologize on the Super Morning Show. Historic moment. In fact, instantly his apology caused some very strong reactions among those who say that they were victims of the excesses of the revolution. So here Akatapori is calling on former President Rawlings to do the same. Former President Rawlings, of course, has been speaking about how the details of the revolution are being warped and distorted by some people. He has called for correction of some of those distortions. So the debate clearly continues. This all, of course, has resurfaced after the JoyNews documentary, Scars of the Revolution, produced by Raymond Dakwa as part of the Crimes That Shook the Nation series. So no doubt this conversation is only at its beginning. There will be more to say about it. Let's see what else is on our page. Akufo-Addo shares hope for a better Ghana in New Year message. Yeah, President gave a message to the nation on New Year's Day, and they're optimistic. He's optimistic that Ghana will reach higher heights in 2020. I'm sure we all want that for Ghana. All right, let's have a quick look at graphiconline.com, and they've got a number of stories making the headlines. Akufo-Addo urges diasporans to help grow, develop Africa. That's their big story. Also, kidney disease risk factors are being discussed. An unusual cause of epilepsy. Lessons are there on in that story. Don't rush for signs, Apostle Pukunyina is saying. We will tell our stories, says Rawlings. Rice farmers demand inclusion in industry decision. And there are a few other stories here on the front page. Suspect in Tema factory shooting incident granted bail. Pro-militia protesters withdraw from U.S. Embassy in Iraq. That's international news. Kobe Hima adjudged TV Personality of the Year at Ghana Leadership Awards. Okay. Akufo-Addo urges diasporans. Oh, we've talked about that already. And election 2020, new voters register a new BVM system coming. And that's according to the Electoral Commission. Dr. Baumia also says the Ghana card for voter registration will ensure credibility. Yeah, makes you wonder whether we actually need a new voter registration if we're doing the Ghana card. But, well, there you go. Okay, let's see what else is out there. BBC Africa has a number of stories we can look at. And here are a few of them. Ex-PM wins Guinea-Bissau presidential election. Umaru Kisoko Embalo is the one who has done that. What does it mean to be a black traveler? An interesting article there. 4 millennials talk about how they are the first black person some people have met in other parts of the world. Angola orders Isabel dos Santos seizure. We talked about this yesterday. Africa's top shots are also still there on the page. And I think that should do it. Let's see what's on the international BBC page. That should come up in just a moment. Yeah, there we are. Actually, no, that's sports on the BBC Africa page. But we'll be hearing more from the world of sports very soon. But let's look at what's happening on BBC World, which is coming up in just a moment. NSW state of emergency over bushfires. The move comes ahead of what could be a horrible day as conditions worsen, according to officials in Australia. Scary story there, continues to evolve scarily. Australia fires create an eerie New Zealand skies. And yeah, when you're in New Zealand, the view of Australia is starting to look a bit scary. Austria, Conservatives agree on a coalition with the Green Party. Jakarta floods are being blamed on what is called not ordinary rain, according to officials. Arsenal beat Man United to give Arsenal their first win. Yeah, everybody's beating Man United these days. Forget your manners on Gambia's roads. Hey, sir. And what does it mean to... Oh, yeah, we've talked about what it means to be a black traveler. And those are some of the stories on the BBC main page.